Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today we're going to make a soap using this fragrance from Marouche, Canada. It's called Orange Delight, which is a funny name to me, but it is delightful and it does have very subtle sort of sweet orange undernotes. It's so good. So it says in soap you can soap from 3 to 6% down here, and then it does say it has greater than 0.1% vanillin. So this could beige up a little bit. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to add any titanium dioxide. I haven't soaped with this before, so I want to see what it's going to do. So I pulled out some colors to go with our Orange Delight. For the orange, I'm going to use Tangerine Mica from Be Scented, because you know it's a citrus name and I don't have an orange mica, but I have this one and I think it looks beautiful. And then for the delight portion, I wanted to do a second color in here, and I pulled this. It's called Emerald Green Mica from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and it is sort of a tealy, just a gorgeous tealy green. I thought these two together looked really delightful. So those are going to be the color swirls, and of course we're going to have to wait and see about the discoloration. If it's really just a little over 0.1%, I'm not thinking it's going to discolor too much, but we're going to have to try this and find out. I'm going to get everything pulled together and let's come back and make some Orange Delight soap. And I did want to mention, if you are enjoying my channel and the content that I'm making, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, that's okay too, or in the bell for notifications so you don't miss anything going on in the soap studio. And we are back with all of my soap, oils, and butters in here, and it's time to add our additives. And today I have decided to do coconut milk. It just sounded good with this fragrance, Orange Delight. Coconut milk sounded like a perfect pairing. I already have the fragrance in here. One of the reviews said it did cause slight acceleration, so I'm going to be cautious with my stick blending. And I'm not going to add colloidal oats because two of the reviews said it didn't cause discoloration, and I don't want those oat speckles in here, so I'm just going to be adding my kale and clay. But before I put those in, I want to show you another thing I did. I have this cute little silicone mold from Amazon, and I made some little melt and pour orange slices, which I'm going to be popping down on top. I just couldn't resist, and I did put a touch of fragrance in here, so these have a little of that Orange Delight scent. Man, that smells good. It is a complex orange scent. It's really nice. So these are going to go down on top. I made too many. I will save them for another project. You know what though? Little melt and pour embeds like this would be so cute on top of a salt scrub or a sugar scrub when you open the jar up and get a little soap in there. Keep that in mind. I may have a future plan for that. But I've got the embeds off to the side. I will not let this go through gel phase. That being said, if any of you have been with me for a time, you have seen me melt my melt and pour embeds on top of my soap, having it go through gel phase. So after I get done pouring the soap, I'm going to leave it uncovered and let it sit out. And I will keep an eye on it. If it starts to warm up, I'll throw it in the fridge. But normally just leaving it out at room temperature is totally fine to stop the melt and pour embeds from melting. All right, in goes the coconut oil. There's coconut oil in here, and the recipe is down below in the description box, or the little highlighted more word. Click on that, you'll see everything. Coconut milk, and I'm doing the milk in oil method. And then for the dry ingredients, I'm going to add my kale and clay in here. I'm going in at about a generous teaspoon, I'll call it, just because I love it. Let's get this blended up. With our lye solution, and with the milk and oil method, I took a portion of the liquid and put it in here as the milk, so that's how that works. So what I've got going on in here is my typical. I have a teaspoon of cane sugar dissolved in the water, then a pinch of tussa silk fibers, then my sodium hydroxide, which is lye, and a dash of sodium lactate to help this unmold easier. That's what's going on in my little pot here, and I go much into detail in other videos, so I'm going kind of quickly through this. Let's get it in here, and again, I'm going to proceed cautiously because one of the reviews said they had a little bit of acceleration. They said it wasn't bad, but they noticed it. So I'm just going to proceed with caution. But I will say this recipe that I'm using is not a fast-moving recipe, so that's always a bonus. And you'll see it start to beige up a little. Some of that is just the lye caramelizing the milk sugars, and that's totally normal. It's hard to get a bright white soap unless you use titanium dioxide with a milk. Typically they will be like an ivory color just naturally. All right, let's get our colors up and let's get to pouring this. All right, we are back. It has been a couple of days since I made this, and I left it out uncovered, did not melt my embeds. Very happy about that. But because I didn't let this go through gel phase, I wanted to give it an extra day before I unmolded to make sure it was nice and hard. Let's get this out of the mold and see what we've got going on the inside. We are back, and today I'm using my single bar cutter because I don't want to lop off any of my oranges. I want to make sure each slice of soap gets a slice of orange. So I did want to talk about gel phase and why I let this sit an extra day and all of that, even though I did put sodium lactate in the lye solution, which does help with unmolding. And you can typically unmold your soap if it has not gone through gel phase the next day. It should be fine. I like to take an extra caution because I have dinged up soaps in my history. Ooh, those swirls. So pretty. And I am very glad that I did not gel because I feel like this ivory color would be darker had I gone through gel phase. But oh, these are, smell good. These are giving me all the Orange Delight vibes, right? Okay, so back to gel phase versus not gel phase. I get asked, what is gel phase? Gel phase is when the soap heats up in the mold and goes through its saponification process a little bit faster, and it's heated, so it's actually cooking in the mold. So what a hot process soap is, where you're cooking your soap in the pot and then you put it in the mold. Well, when you have a cold process soap and you have it go through gel phase, you have it kind of insulated where it's building up heat mass and it does the cooking in the mold. And I am a big fan of gel phase personally. And I know some soapers that are not. Some of my girlfriends that are goat milk or milk soap makers, they don't like gel phase. I gel even my milk soaps. Look at those swirls, yay! Oh, love it. But all that being said, when you gel your soap and it does go through the cooking process in the mold, it will be a little firmer the next morning when I come in to cut, and I like that. But it can make your soap darken a little because it does cook, you know. So there's many factors to it, but I tend to like the gel, but this one I'm very glad that I didn't. And again, because of the melt and pores on top, if this had built up a heat mass, it could have melted these and I would have come down and just had puddles of melt and pour on top of my soap, and definitely did not want that. And speaking about waiting a couple of days to unmold, the other reason why I waited is because this fragrance did not speed up trace for me. Now, some of that is my recipe. When you use lard and sunflower oil can both slow down trace, which I am loving. Okay, look at this. You can see a partial gel. Do you see that little dark ring in the middle? This soap tried to go through gel phase, but I didn't let it. So that little dark shadowy area is, it was trying to cook, and this will just mellow out and it'll be fine. But I was talking about speeding up trace, and one of the reviews that I read on this fragrance had said that they had experienced a fast trace. Now, I have no idea what their soap recipe is. Maybe they were doing a really high butter, a hard oil recipe that is a fast moving recipe. I was using a slow recipe, and it was indeed slow. I had plenty of time. And when you use a fragrance that slows down trace, it can also take an extra day or two to firm up in the mold. So all of these things factor in: your recipe, your fragrance, whether or not you use sodium lactate. All of those things are factors. And as a soaper, and you gain experience soaping, you'll just learn what you prefer. You'll develop preferences. What jives with your favorite recipe, and how cold is your studio. My studio down here is in the basement of my house. It tends to run in the mid 60 degree. In the winter it's a little cooler, in the summer it's a little warmer, but it never gets above 70, which makes me happy. I love cool temperatures, so I'm a happy girl in a cool studio. But where you're soaping, maybe it's 80 degrees or so. So all of these things play into how your soap behaves and how fast it's going to set up and all those things, which I kind of love all the nuances to soap making. And it is very nuanced, and it has personality. And as a maker, you bring your personality and preferences to each batch you make, and I just love all of that. So another maker can use the exact same colors, the exact same fragrance, and their soap is going to look different than mine. And that just delights me. I think I just love the artistry of it, and their recipe could be different. You know what I'm saying? There is a chemistry, technical side to soap making, and there's also an artistic side, and I just love it all. I hope you love it all too, because I sure do have fun making these videos and bringing you all along with me. It brings joy to my day making these, and I hope it brings joy to your day watching me make these. I am so happy with that. I just did a teeny bit of the color in there. I just love the wispy swirl, the oranges, and these smell divine, I'll say that. All right, well, I am really glad I did the coconut milk in here also, because it's gonna make a creamy, delicious lather for this soap that smells so good. I think it pairs perfectly with everything about this soap. The colors, the theme, the scent. I'm just happy. Oh my goodness, look at those swirls. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. I'm going to let these sit for a few hours. We'll come back, bevel and stamp, and do all the soapy things. And I'm glad you joined me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.